What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Austin Davis, and in this video I'm actually going to be talking about how I almost killed at least 2 or 3 people in my first year in the pressure washing business. Alright guys, you guys heard me correctly. If y'all are reading the title correctly, that is true. It almost happened. Not all the way, obviously. I'm still here, not in jail. Crazy story enough, and this is something that a lot of people have to watch out for if they're in their pressure washing business, especially if you're a beginner, because this is something that can innocently happen. It's an honest mistake. It can be very, very dangerous, and here's the lowdown. So we work with a lot of different chemicals in the industry, mainly bleach, okay, sodium hypochlorite, bleach, SH, there's a lot of different names for it. That being said, we also work with a lot of degreasers, okay, F9 products, you know, non-organic stain removal chemicals. So you have like rust remover, you have efflorescence remover, you have all kinds of different MND80, you have all these different types of specialty chemicals that are used to treat non-organic stains, okay? When you're in your first year in the pressure washing business, you're getting a lot of experience learning all these different types of chemicals. And one of the biggest things that a lot of people have to learn is, you know, how to mix certain chemicals and whatnot. And if you're not careful, you can do something that's very, very dangerous, and hence the title of this video. One of the chemicals that we work with is F9 bark, okay, that is a special rust removal chemical. Well, so when I was in my first year in the pressure washing business, this is before I had my YouTube channel. This is when I was just a wee lad, just, you know, trying to figure it out, watching all the YouTube videos I could, studying, failing, you know, messing up on people's houses, unfortunately, paying the price and whatnot, just going through the trials and tribulations of my first year in business, right? I was using F9 bark, which is a rust removal chemical. Okay, so here's the story. I basically made mustard gas. Okay, but let me back up on how that actually happened. As I said, we use F9 bark as a main rust removal chemical in our process. Nothing against F9 bark. This is no shade at them. This is purely me being an idiot. Hopefully what you guys take from this video is what not to do in situations like this. And the biggest point is not mixing your chemicals. Don't mix chemicals ever, unless it's like a soap or anything. So anyway, I had this F9 bark in a chemical sprayer, and you know, I was using it to remove rust stains, obviously. But I also have a bleach container, okay, which is a huge 50-gallon drum, which was empty at the time, okay? So I had a sprayer, it had about this much F9 bark in it. I'm talking about a couple ounces. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I needed to empty that sprayer. And I didn't want to just empty it in the person's grass. I didn't want to empty it in the street. I didn't want to dump it down a trash can. I was like, hey, let me just empty this little couple ounces of F9 bark. Let me just empty it in my SH container, which is where I store my bleach. At the time, the bleach container was completely empty. Didn't think anything of it. Like I said, I was in my first year of the business. I was just like, oh, hey, you know, whatever. You know, just throw it in there, and you know, my bleach will just mix in there perfectly, right? Jesus. Anyway, so I dump a few ounces of F9 bark, which is a rust removal chemical, into the container, okay? A week goes on, I get my next pressure washing job, and I go to the chemical warehouse to fill up on bleach. Oh boy, this is where it gets kind of crazy. Pulling up to the main shop, the guys come out. It's about 2 or 3 guys that, you know, meet and greet you. You know, they open up your tank, they ask you how much bleach do you want. Bleach is a very, very strong chemical, guys. I totally forgot that I had a couple ounces of F9 bark in there. Even if I had remembered, like I said, I was too young in the business to even know that that was an issue. He starts putting the pump in the container, and he starts pumping away gas, and I'm standing on the back of the truck, and the 2 guys, one of the other guys is in the back of the bed with me, and then I have another guy with his arm on the side of my truck. We're just, you know, shooting the shit and talking, and you know, we get to talking, my bleach container starts filling up, and then all of a sudden, guys, the most rampant, just horrid, I don't even know what to describe it. I mean, the smell was just something I can't even describe. It was more of just a gas feeling. All of a sudden, we're filling up on bleach, and me and the guys are like we start squinting. We're just like, what is going on? Like, we feel like we're getting smoked out right now. And the first thing I said is like, what's in that bleach? I said, like, what's in y'all's tanks? Like, what the hell is that? And then the guys started immediately freaking out. Like, this is a chemical warehouse. Like, they're big on this stuff, right? And they're like, and they immediately start shutting down the ball valves from their bleach tank. So they immediately cut the supply of bleach. They started yelling. They're like, what is going on? What is that smell? And they immediately put the cap on it, because guys, it was like, every second that smell and that gas was out was like totally affecting us. We immediately put the cap on the bleach tank, and I took a step back. We and the guy literally jumped out of the truck and took like 15 and 20 steps back. We were like, oh my God, what the F is going on? I can't even describe. But basically what happened, guys, is that little bit of F9 bark, which contains ammonia, okay, mixing with the sodium hypochlorite, that is how you accidentally or not accidentally, I mean it was accidental, but that is how you could accidentally make mustard gas, okay? Mustard gas, chemical warfare compound, killed at least 120,000 people in World War II, okay? It was absolutely insane. So basically what happened was we were back in the truck and we took 15, 20 steps back. They're freaking out on me and they're like, Austin, what the hell was in that container? And my immediate brain was like, nothing's in the container. I don't remember putting anything in the container, because like I said, whenever I did put that stuff in the container, I didn't really think anything of it. I took a few seconds and I thought like, okay, what could possibly be in that container? And then I remembered, holy shit, there's a little bit of F9 bark in there. And then they didn't really know what F9 bark was. They go back in the computer and they look it up. And like, dude, like this is not something that you mix with it. And even so, you don't want to mix really anything with bleach unless it's just a, you know, a surfactant like a soap, you know, that you use for washing houses and whatnot, but definitely not any other kind of hard chemical. That's an absolute, you can accidentally make some chemical warfare type shit with that. And so that's precisely what happened. That container was basically mustard gas, and it was putting out this phosphine gas, you know, immediately. And it only took that much, which was the scary part. I mean, what if it was a gallon, or, you know, who knew what could have happened? But me and the guys just started just absolutely, I can't even describe the mustard gas feeling, but it felt like you were getting hit with a tidal wave of the strongest gas ever. And every second that goes by, you were just, it started just getting into your brain, right? It only took about 5 to 8 seconds for me and the guys to start flipping out and just start, like, we were having a casual conversation, and it went from casual conversation to just freaking the F out like real freaking quick. Long story short, they got pissed, and we put the cap on the tank. They take a forklift and they forklift it out and they go put it at the tail end of the property. Basically, they were left to deal with however they deal with that kind of situation. It is a big chemical compound company, so I'm sure they have their ways of disposing stuff like that. But basically, I learned a very valuable lesson. That's a lot of you guys getting into the business, you know, doesn't matter really whatever business you're in. You don't have to be in the pressure washing business. If you mix, you know, maybe a thing of Lysol with an ammonia-based product, okay, you can get mustard gas, maybe a lower degree, because, you know, Lysol is like 0.0001% sodium hypochlorite. I was mixing 12%, the full commercial grade strength bleach, with the F9 bark product. If you guys have been in the business, you guys know that bleach is just a nice golden yellow color, a nice little lighter yellow color. By the time it filled up that tank, it was like gold bronze. It was not right. It created just the most lethal thing you've ever seen. That's basically the only thing I can describe it. Me and the guys kind of laugh at it now, because like every time I would go back to fill up on bleach, they would know me as the guy that almost killed him. Just honest mistake, guys. So that just goes to show you guys, when you guys are new in the business, really pay attention to what you're doing. Know that if you are gonna have a chemical bottle and you plan on dumping it out and putting another chemical bottle in there, really make sure that you rinse that out. Hell, I don't even think it's worth even doing that. Just get a new bottle. It's a couple bucks at Home Depot or wherever you get your bottles. Just only have your dedicated bottle for your dedicated chemicals. Never mix anything, okay? Let's say if you mix it and you put a cap on it, you know, and you start spraying it, you might not know that whatever you might start spraying it on someone's house, which could cause a huge reaction. Plus, you're just spraying this really toxic gas, which isn't good either. So just be on the lookout for that. It is a kind of a funny story. You know, when I'm on my coaching calls, this is one of the stories I tell some of the people that I do coaching for. And it just goes to show you that really pay attention when you're getting into this business. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. And one of the things that can go wrong, and I don't see too many people talking about this, is the mixture of chemicals and how quickly it can go south on you. Thankfully, no one was hurt in my little scenario that happened with me. This was like 3.5 years ago. But, you know, learned a powerful lesson. Never mix your chemicals unless it says so on the instructions or you know what you're doing. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, nor was I paying attention. So thankfully, no one was hurt, but it does make for a good story to tell. And that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all got some great entertainment for this. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, but we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.